I am finally back with the CRYSIS franchise, baby. It's been long enough, am I right? Hold on, let me flip through the calendar. When was the CRYSIS 2 video? 2 months ago? God damn, I really have been slacking. I deeply apologise for those of you that have been waiting for this video. So because of that, I'm going to shut up and start. The game opens up with a little introductory cutscene. Prophet tells us that it's been 23 years since the events of the second game, and he gloats about how he was the one who stopped the Ceph. Which, yeah, I mean, I guess you were, but come on man, don't disrespect your brothers in arms like that. Alcatraz went through so much shit, and he gave his life to complete your mission. Anyway, he also tells us that in the past 23 years, CEL have seized the opportunity of an alien invasion to grow in size and influence, and they have grown so far that they're on the brink of world domination, taking everyone, including Prophet, by surprise. But hold on, because there is a little more. Prophet claims that the Alpha Ceph showed him a glimpse of the future, which is what you're seeing in the background now. He continues his speech by saying that being a good soldier comes down to one question: what are you prepared to sacrifice? And he says that when he got the nanosuit, he sacrificed Lawrence Barnes to become Prophet, and eventually sacrificed his own flesh and blood when it held him back.
From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me.
Because, if you remember from the last game, he became an AI within his own nanosuit, and he used the dead body of Alcatraz as extra power. Stinky bitch. And as you can see here, there's a big tentacle bitch making its way towards Earth. And I don't know about you, but I reckon that that's not something that we want. And there you go. That's pretty much all you need to know about the story as a whole. There's an Alpha Ceph. It made Prophet hallucinate this big end of the world with him dead, meaning that the Ceph would be able to invade without the most powerful weapon on the planet being able to stop them. So, Prophet has to make sure that his prophecy doesn't come true. Bing bang boom, let's get it done! The first present day cutscene then plays as a gaggle of helicopters make their way to some rainy base in New York. They say that they've picked up some rebel movement at one part of said base, but they're sure it's nothing.
Nothing getting on this boat tonight, over.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, what was that, like 7 seconds since you said nothing's getting on this boat? How the fuck did CEL manage to be the superpower of the world if getting onto their high security boat is this easy for some rebels to accomplish? I gotta say though, this intro cutscene is awesome. It's beautiful, it's got some great sound design, and I mean come on, it's badass. The rebels make it to the box that CEL are keeping Prophet in, and they stick some sort of doohickey on it, which does some shit that leads to the pod unlocking and shutting down. Yo, Prophet, you wanna hop out of there perhaps?
Whoa, 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 easy! Friendlies! You remember friendlies?
Holy shit, Psycho's alive. Where's your nanosuit? That's exactly what I was thinking, bro. Psycho explains how CEL hunted down all of the nanosuit users and skinned every last one of them. Prophet is the only one left in the world. Finally dipping toes into actual gameplay, Psycho gives us his pistol, our first weapon of the game. We also get to see where we are. Still in New York, but this is where the game tells us that we're now in 2047. And already I want to say that this game is goddamn clean. Again, I know it's a remaster, but oh, it looks so wet, you know?
What?
Because of the rainstorm. Seriously though, it does look great. Rain is a great cover up for graphics, I know, but just wait until we get a little further into the game. After making our way halfway up some stairs, an announcement rings out over the intercom, letting all CEL soldiers know that Prophet is free, and telling all non-essential personnel to leave the area. Which is good advice, because after 20 years of being locked up, I have no discretion over who gets a bullet to the dome. Also worth mentioning, because it happens off-screen, in between games, Prophet and Nomad go to Siberia for a mission. They get ambushed and hit with a high-level EMP, leading to Nomad getting skinned and Prophet getting captured. All of this shit happened in the books, which I'm probably not going to cover. The P's then make their way to a door that holds the first of many enemies on the other side. So Psycho opens it, and Prophet spins the head of Guardia Uno. The binos have also had a slight change. Now when they mark an enemy, you get a useful little triangle hover above their heads. Crytek also decided to remove the combat approaches idea from the previous game. I mean, that's fair enough honestly. I used that feature maybe once or twice throughout the entire game. During this epic binocular gameplay though, we could overhear some cell guards discussing Prophet. One of them says, "Super soldier my ass, he bleeds like the rest of us." And one of the other guards says, "No, this one doesn't." And I just thought that was kinda cool. It's a small nod to the fate of the corpse inside the suit. Because if you remember from CRYSIS 2, there was a scientist that told us the suit was growing into the wounds of Alcatraz's body. So we can only assume at this point there has to be almost nothing left of his corpse inside the suit, just bones and whatever the suit amalgamated into, and obviously Prophet's AI consciousness. So anyway, we kill all the guys in this room.
Nope.
Where's it coming from?
Nope.
Rightly so, Psycho calls out that my performance was a little messy. So he gives us the best weapon in the game, and quite frankly, the whole series. The compound bow. Dude, this thing rocks. Prophet's not a fan because he's a little bitch, but Psycho wins him over by telling him that it has enough kinetic energy to stop a rhino, which in real life would absolutely just make a person explode, but let's roll with the video game logic instead. The bow also has interchangeable heads, meaning different types of arrows, and you get to stay cloaked when you're firing it. So let's try it out, shall we?
Nice one.
Thanks, man. Your support is greatly appreciated. Unfortunately though, stealth can't last forever, so... The other rebels successfully blow up the ship. However, this does lead to them being gunned down. Womp womp. But moving on to brighter things, the game introduces a new hacking mechanic, and it's actually pretty cool. It's not hard, but it's something different. These little hexagons be flying up and down, and you gotta slap them when they get into a box. Again, it's not hard, but it's nice to have something new going on. The P's then have another quick dialogue, wherein Psycho tells Prophet that we're walking into Cell's home front, and they have a few thousand soldiers available at their disposal. Prophet asks about the Ceph, but Psycho tells him to come off it, and he claims that the Ceph are finished. Granted, it has been 20 years, but come on Psycho, you were there in the jungle with us, you know how powerful they are. To add some salt to this little trauma stake, one of the screens in this place starts playing the recording of Psycho getting skinned from his suit. He tries to do some beep boop on the computer to find out who it was that cut him out of the suit, but no dice. We're gonna get him, Psycho. We're gonna be eating revenge lasagna in no time. Check this shit out!
Watch my back!
I mean, imagine getting bamboozled that hard. R.I.P. bozo. A Cell soldier over the intercom refers to Prophet as the entity known as Prophet, which just further hammers down the point that Prophet is no longer human. He turned himself into a thing. We get separated from Psycho for the time being, but he's in more danger than me, so I can't say I'm upset with the situation really. I'm going to take the time now to say that the gameplay of CRYSIS 3, just like the other entries, is really fun. The combat and the gunplay is much smoother. Playing through all three in a row really shows you how much they refined it all to create such a solid FPS. It's responsive, it's snappy, and like I've said with the other two games, it just makes you feel unstoppable. And I'm also going to take the time here to say that the art and the level design is also great. The first mission is such a perfect opening mission to the game. Not only does it grab your attention with how nice it looks, but it grabs your attention twice because of the scale. You really feel like you're in this huge base, and it's got this futuristic but attainable feel to it all. So after some more soldiers get an early discharge, Psycho teaches us that turrets are also hackable, which is nice to know. After almost putting Psycho in the hospital upon our reuniting, we get a nice little nanosuit data dump overlay. We get to see that he's 87.3% of a renegade, 74% maverick, 58.6% disobedient, and 45.1% out of control. How does the suit measure that exactly? Who fucking knows, but I'll take its word for it. Psycho explains how Cell owns humanity's energy, and if you can't pay back your bills, then you have to work it off. But of course, you never work it off. You just get stuck in the work away your debt scheme for life, and your only other choice is to fight back. And these are the people who fill his rebel alliance. We step off of the elevator and into the main room overlooking the city. Psycho presses some buttons and the shutters open to reveal the new New York City.
Welcome to New York. Version 2.0.
What have they done?
I mean, come on, it's so fucking gorgeous. Prophet picks up an energy signature from the city, and Psycho tells him how Cell are channeling the energy from alien technology, and that they run the whole global power grid by using a single Ceph machine inside the New York dome. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot to mention, the base that you see in the beginning isn't a base, it's the dome that encapsulates all of New York. Cell built it in order to kill off the remaining Ceph population and reduce the radiation left in their wake. Prophet doesn't like it though. He says it can't be that simple because the Alpha Ceph showed him a vision. He says we've been through this before and there has to be a connection.
There's more than your revolution going on here. I've seen this. Cell are toying with powers they can't begin to understand. Whatever they're doing, it's going to bring about the end of the world. We have to shut them down.
We still get our end of mission briefs, which is lovely. In this one, Psycho talks to an unseen person on the other side of a radio, telling them that he's secured Prophet, and alludes to a plan called Terminal Velocity. The woman on the other end says copy that, and confirms that the dome is built to contain a Ceph threat, whatever that's supposed to mean, and also tells him that this highlighted area is still a go, so I guess that's where we're venturing to. We just have to avoid these Cell security towers on the way. Chapter 2 opens with Psycho telling us that the woman on the other end of the radio is Claire, New York's regional commander, and he says that she's not that bad. Prophet finds this funny that Psycho actually respects someone in command, but it's because Psycho and Claire are lovers. The upgrade system has also had a change in between CRYSIS 2 and 3. Now you can find these experimental nanotech kits which give you a couple upgrade points each. Once picked up, you can grab the upgrades that you want. It does still stick to the last game's formula of only having one upgrade selection per slot, which I just think is fucking terrible. Just let me have and use all of the upgrades. But I decided to go with the endurance upgrade for my first slot, allowing me to sprint 33% longer, as well as unlocking my hydro thrusters, which means faster underwater movement speed, like a tuna. And then I decided, you know what? This upgrade system has pissed me off so much that I'm just going to hack the game and give myself all of the upgrade points. If a game has this type of upgrade system, I genuinely lose all of my motivation to even care about getting upgrade points. Fuck this toolbox. Fuck it again! Come on Psycho, let's bounce. Man, this is so pretty if you don't account for the massive Springfield dome over the city. And I don't even want to imagine how hot it is being under a citywide windshield. We shortly come across our first outside obstacle, a minefield. Luckily for us, mines are electronic in this world, therefore they can be hacked. As soon as we get through those, Prophet gets frazzled by an energy surge. But it fades, so let's just bust down this door instead and head up to the old train line. This is where Psycho introduces us to the defense towers. If their lasers spot you, then
Get back!
and we don't want that to happen. Psycho suggests that we cut around the kill zone, but after seeing some helos fly by, Prophet says that the barrage is manageable and says we can just run straight through the middle. And after a little hissy fit between the two men, Psycho gets into recon position and Prophet jumps down to join the fun. For now, we run around an overgrown area, somewhat dodging the cannon fire and searching for a weapon, which we eventually do find, in the form of a Ceph sniper rifle that causes us to have some PTSD visions. Psycho fails to mask his disappointment in this discovery because as far as he's concerned, we can't use Ceph weapons. And with this, we can blow up the cannons on the defense tower, which also makes the entire thing explode. Psycho expresses his concern on how we managed to get the gun to fire, but he moves past it pretty quickly. Next up on the epic mechanics agenda, using some electrical arrows, you can zap flooded areas where enemies stand. Also worth mentioning is that you can change the draw weight of the bow. The stronger the weight, the more damage you do, but the longer it takes to draw the bow to max power. Catch, motherfuckers! Sorry mate, but it had to be done. I need to hack your drop pod thingy. Yes! More upgrade points that I definitely need. After meeting back up with Psycho, we take a plunge into the sewers and run around the pipes like a rat until we eventually find the Ninja Turtles who are also hanging out down here. After walking into a new area, this happens. Fuck you, Psycho! I was right, bitch! The Ceph are still around! Don't you ever doubt me again or I'll pop your knees out like I'm opening a fucking Red Bull can. Oh shit, he coming! Back off, Stinky! Prophet tries to tell Psycho that he's just seen the Ceph, but Psycho says,
Yeah, I know. Stalkers. Tell me about it.
alright, fuck you then. So yeah, if you can't tell, this is the part of the game where the Ceph make their reintroduction. We're back into the CRYSIS gameplay that we're all familiar with. Human and alien soldiers combined. Only took them about 50 minutes to get to this point. Oh shit, there's laser mines. Surely I can just cloak and walk past them. Okay then. More friends!
Man, situation is unchanged.
Whee! After returning to the wilderness, Prophet's HUD goes all squiffy and we need to find the reason for this. Turns out, it's actually the most simple fix ever. We just walk up to this device and press the off button. Cool. And with the EMP off, Psycho can finally reach us. He tells us that he's holding a secure position, but he can see the Ceph that's around us, and soon he's going to be overrun himself. So our plan is to now sprint our way towards Psycho in order to save not one, but both of his bum cheeks. But when we get there, he's just fucking chilling. There's no enemies around him. He's not even fighting, he's literally just standing there. But of course, as soon as we man the turret, then the enemies start to bum rush us. The turret we have is explosive, however, so I say send them in, I'll take them all on. Whilst we're making calamari, Psycho's on the radio to command, trying to get us both out of here. But he might as well be trying to get a doctor's appointment in the UK, because we're sat here for fucking ages. Just before the Ceph can stab us though, Cell calls in some napalm choppers, which is great for the time being, but let's not be here when the second round comes in. We arrive at a train tunnel, which is locked, of course it is, but that's no matter, we can just push this old train cart and catch a ride. Bashing through the door is no issue, and Psycho sticks some C4 to the cart. Cell tries to stop us with an APC, but that does not work.
Well, I don't know about you, but I call that fucking flawless.
Psycho calls Claire and tells her to open a window to the safe house, and she tells him to maintain radio protocol and to bring the hardware, me, home. And now we get our mission end brief. Claire talks about Cell enslaving humanity because of their control over the power, and dives into a brief about their energy nexus, which is a system that they call System X. Their Ceph tech, which gives them all the power, is contained in a single harvesting facility several hundred meters below street level. She also states that this is single-handedly the most securely guarded thing that they own. But this is their Achilles heel, and she also tells us that this is our last shot. Now in the financial district of New York, the two Ps arrive at the safe house. Psycho tells us that Cell are always on the Rebels' trail, so they have to move around all the time. I fucking love the design of the Rebels and their safe house. There's something so awesome about the Rebel aesthetic in video games. That's why I loved Homefront the Revolution so much. Or the safe house in Wolfenstein 2. Anyway, everyone say hello to Claire. Hello, Claire! I'm not sure what to make of you yet, but it's nice to put a face to the name.
Look at the modifications, Michael! Is it Ceph? Cell? Is it even human? Have we been sacrificing good people for that mutation?
Okay, I've made up my mind. Fuck you. But before they can argue more, the least obvious looking bad guy comes over and gets involved. He basically tells her to shut the fuck up because Prophet is going to be what changes the tide of this war. The rebels will no longer be struggling now that we're on their side. This man is Karl Ernst Rasch, a man known for getting way too close into your personal space like he's about to kiss you. Another thing of note is that Prophet's suit can't get a read on Rasch. It considers him an anomaly, but Rasch explains it away by saying it's not possible for the suit to get a read on him because he's one of the creators of it. He also says that Claire is correct about the amount of risk involved in assisting Prophet, given the fact that he is extremely volatile and powerful. Rasch and Psycho then mention a plan that will cripple Cell, but for now they gatekeep it. Prophet tries to tell Rasch about his visions, but then he gets one, and it hurts his little head, so he switches gear and starts speaking like his namesake.
We will take the fight to Cell. Shut down that energy nexus and end all this, or whatever they're doing will bring about the extinction of all life on this planet. Remember that.
You sound quite prophetic.
And then we leave. This is my favourite section of the game. It opens up more, and we get to see more of the overgrown New York. I do really wish more of this game took place in the rundown and overgrown buildings, because I love those type of art choices. It's one of the reasons I love the design of The Last of Us so much. Also, in this cutscene is where we get to see our first glimpse of System X, Cell's energy nexus, our main target. If we destroy the dam, that should ruin Cell's core defenses. But Prophet raises a good question. If they have infinite energy, why do they need a dam? Psycho doesn't know, but Prophet theorizes that it's because there's something about System X that scares them. He also goes on to ask Psycho about how well he knows the rebels, and questions if they can be trusted. He points out Claire's reaction to his suit as a reason for asking this, but we don't have a dialogue about it. Psycho just says that he doesn't know why she hates suits, she just does. But Psycho doesn't pry, because it was her team that saved him, so he respects her secrecy. Anyway, we jump down onto an elevator and... Who had falling elevator on their bingo card? Claire then patches in and she requests, well, demands access to our visor, which she is granted. However, Prophet makes it clear that she's only gonna have access as long as it's necessary. Anyway, let's kill some people. Elevator time! Oh shit, they're smart enough to do the thing that you always see in movies. But, unfortunately for them, we also do the thing that happens in movies, and we sneak out using the hatch, and then using a vent. And that vent leads directly above the enemies. The perfect situation to toss a grenade, I say. And now that we're on top of the dam, we're told that we must trigger the failsafe that overrides the generators. So I suppose I should get to it. And here we are, generator number 1. But instead of triggering the override, Prophet just uses his massive bare hands and gorilla strength to rip the generator apart. Which honestly does work pretty well. So now I just need to do that a second time. Except this time you actually just go over to it and press a button on the console. Bit of an odd choice, but I'm not complaining. And with the generators out of the way, we're now free to stick some C4 on the dam before watching one of the coolest cutscenes in the game.
Cell units moving on your position. Do not jeopardize the goddamn mission now.
I mean, come on, that's just objectively awesome. I don't care who you are, you found that awesome. Now we just have to infiltrate System X's harvesting facility, and that should be where our end goal is. Claire radios to say that our explosive getaway isn't exactly the sort of plan she was hoping for. In fact, she calls us insane, and once again refers to Prophet as hardware, which naturally upsets him a little bit. She bites back saying that he doesn't have a name because he's not human, but he says, fuck you, I'm the only reason you guys have any chance in winning this war, so how about you give me the goddamn sit rep, bitch? And that little hissy fit does give her a bit of a kick in the ass, and she lets us know what's going down. She says that Cell's high altitude defense system is completely offline, but things are going to get much worse because Cell will most likely have regrouped at the Nexus base, and then they're going to turn this whole area into a kill zone. But there's still some stragglers, so...
Still in a lockdown situation here, in the lift. Need assistance returning to HQ.
Romeo 1. Suck it up. We've got more pressing matters right now.
You're right, Psycho. She does grow on you. I think I'm starting to like her.
Bollocks.
Okay, back to the fight. Claire tells us that the situation has become critical. Cell is still trying to operate the Nexus even without power. This means that the whole thing could implode at any moment. She says that the rebels are commencing Operation Jackhammer, which is to bring the power output under control so they can safely shut down System X. So after another big fight, we step into another elevator, a tiny one this time, and Prophet suffers another vision before Claire tells us our next objective. We have to find 2 power alternators and shut them off. As you can imagine, we do exactly that. On the way back up, Prophet opens the convo to his visions, and Claire tells him that the energy fields around System X aggravate the missile temporal areas of the brain, whatever the fuck that means. She says because of this, they've witnessed hallucinations, deja vu, false memories, and even full dissociative identity disorders. Which is absolutely insane when you think about it. But I won't worry about that. I just need to press some buttons and shut this bitch down.
Emergency power shutdown. Release control to shut down system. Emergency shutdown in effect. Switching to backup generators. Projecting System X containment view. Warning. System X containment failed.
What? No. It couldn't have been that stupid. The Alpha Ceph.
Warning. System X containment breach in progress. Releasing controlled implosion. Protocol failed. Facility self-destructed. 5, 4,
Shit!
2, 1.
Prophet, you okay?
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome! We've done it!
No, we haven't. System X, their energy source, was the Alpha Ceph.
Oh, fuck me. If your visions are real, does that mean it's end of the world time?
No. It means the bastard's out in the open. It means I can kill him.
Hands up if you knew that twist all along. My hand is up, you just can't see it. Yeah, I mean, come on. All of a sudden there's this Alpha Ceph introduced into the game, and it just so happens that Cell have managed to create infinite energy, and we're just supposed to believe that that's some sort of massive coincidence. Yeah, right. Anyway, Claire regurgitates what we just found out, so she can zip her lips. But Prophet suggests that maybe if the Ceph can get into his head, maybe he can get into theirs. and if he can do that, maybe he can find a weakness. He then asks Psycho if he knows of any cradles nearby, and he does. The old skinning lab that Cell took him to, the same one that Claire saved him from. So that's our next destination. Opening in Chinatown, Chapter 4 kicks off with Prophet in the even deeper ruins of New York. He scans some tower type thing, but I can't be bothered to figure out what that actually is, so I'm not going to tell you. It's just some sort of defense tower, I mean, who cares? But our attention quickly gets switched to a trio of Cell soldiers. At this point, why are you guys even patrolling in groups of less than 50? 50 still wouldn't be enough, but you'd have a much better chance.
Must be nothing.
Well, now that's just unlucky. I'm sorry mate, but you will be sleeping with the frogs today. As we creep on some more soldiers, their commander tells them that condition Red Star Rising is now in effect. We don't know what that is, but the soldiers take it very seriously. So seriously that they say fuck it to searching for Prophet and they just waltz off. Psycho informs us that both Rasch and Claire have gone offline. This is not good. Well, it's not good for Psycho because that's his leader and his girlfriend, but for me, oh well. Now, something that does concern me is the fact that Cell have set up manned tower guns. This is not good. And this time, it's not good for me. Psycho also tells us about some intel that Cell are trying to get rid of, and they've sent down an escort to get it back. But we're gonna beat them to it. I'm gonna gobble down that intel. Yeah, I actually didn't manage to get it. I went across a zipline which I mistakenly thought would be okay to do, but apparently that triggers my insertion into the next area. Therefore, no intel for us. Oh, look who's back. Claire returns over the radio waves and lets us know that the Resistance was hit with an EMP. She also lets us know that Rasch has gone AWOL. I wish him luck, honestly. I don't know what he's like in a fight, but whatever fight he gets into now is going to be the worst one he's ever been in. Let me out, bitch!
System X.
The Alpha Ceph. Prep your men for a new battle. The ground rules have changed.
Man, I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be so fucking cool! Claire comes back again and tells us that the Ceph have sent out a mind carrier, and because of our sensitivity to the alien influence, we should probably stay away from that thing. But Prophet says, nah, I'll do what I want.
But you have a lot of alien material in your DNA. I don't know if any of this is a good idea.
System X. The Alpha Ceph. Get out. No.
Oh my god, man. The music, the epicness of it all feels like such a good end to it all, and we're not even at the conclusion yet. After getting 125 meters away from the skinning lab, Claire tells us that Cell are being annihilated by mass Ceph units. Yeah, I can see that. Oh yeah, and there's also a new Ceph enemy in this game, the Scorcher. They're cool, I guess. I mean, they're just this game's flamethrower enemy. They stick their faces in the mud and use their big heads as a shield wall, but you can just kind of throw a couple grenades at their feet and that should do the trick. Claire tells us that there's reports of Ceph being revived all over New York. Oh, that's great! I love when my enemies come back to life. And after sneaking past some Ceph, we arrive at a power box and pull the switch, which in turn brings the bridge down for the base containing the skinning lab. And this is where we meet back up with Psycho. Psycho opens up to us about how much he misses his nanosuit. He says there's not a single day that goes by where he doesn't wish he was Prophet. He doesn't even care about all the shit that turned Prophet into the thing that he is now. As long as he had the suit, he would take it all on. I like seeing this side of Psycho. It deepens his character. We run through the base, seeing a dead nanosuit soldier on the way, which makes Psycho so mad that he does an I know what you did last summer spin. We swiftly move into the room with the cradle, and Psycho starts fiddling with some servers that apparently turn on the lights. He follows up his fiddling with some more fiddling, and manages to calibrate the sensor remotes. So now we're all good to relax in this cradle like a newborn. Claire pipes up once again to warn us that unlocking the suit means breaking the safety seals, and that means that the nanites inside the suit will reroute, and there's no telling what Prophet will become. Good lord, lady, you're talking about me like I'm gonna do a tetsu. Good lord, lady, you're talking about me like I'm gonna do a tetsu. They access Prophet's memories, leading to us hearing Rasch say something cryptic about having to become the enemy to defeat them. He also says that they put blockers in his head to protect his mind, because without them, the hive mind would have consumed him. So naturally, Claire and Psycho remove the blockers. And literally right after they do that, Claire reads massive, critical neurological changes in Prophet's noggin. But at least we can link up with the Ceph now. But before we move on, let's have a bit of a twist reveal, shall we?
What's this?
Michael, you shouldn't. Don't.
Why not?
It won't help.
Operation. The nanosuit is then fully removed. Subject 8A, Sergeant Michael Sykes, is still functioning at near optimal levels, but accelerated degradation is to be expected.
You did this to me.
Michael, please listen to me. You are the reason why. I mean, I fight Cell because of you. Because...
Is that why you cared? Or were you pretending to care because of this? Because of your own fucking guilt?
I didn't have a choice, Michael! The Cell program, we were in debt, you know how this works. I was forced to do this. To all of those people. I had to listen to their screams day after day after day. I know what I did. Jesus, believe me, I know. And I'll have to carry that with me as long as I live. Every day of my life. Michael!
And feeling bad about it makes it alright, does it? If you're so fucking sorry, Claire, how come I had to find out like this? Why didn't you just come clean, you lying fuck?
Psycho, listen to me. You know how it works. You know she didn't have a choice. She did what she had to do.
No choice. Just doing what she's told. Just following orders. Who the fuck does that sound like, Prophet? I'll tell you one thing, though. She was right about you. You might as well be a fucking machine because you sure as hell ain't no human being anymore. I mean, you never were much good at it to begin with, but Jesus Christ, look at you now! Whose face are you wearing under that helmet these days, Prophet? Do you even have a face anymore?
We all had to make sacrifices.
You had a choice, mate. Everyone has a choice.
Look, I told you everything you needed to know.
Remember these? All the men who died under your command because you were just following orders. Because you had no choice. Just like her.
Psycho.
No, mate. You take that suit of yours, and you go fight your own battles. Like always.
And just like that, Psycho leaves. I love this cutscene. The double P's butting heads after being so close for so long. And it sucks as well because they both have really valid arguments, if you wanted to do so. And then the mission fades to the ending brief. We finally received some info on Red Star Rising. So, there's this thing called Archangel, and this is a key regulator platform for a wireless energy grid. What the fuck am I even saying, I hear you asking? Well, in this context, the KRP is a centralized or distributed system responsible for monitoring, optimizing, and controlling the flow and distribution of wireless power across a grid. Boiled down, the key is the brain behind making the wireless power grid work. With that sort of tangent aside, this massive power store can be discharged with a broad area directed energy weapon, which if set off would mean mass destruction, and it would cause depopulation events. With that in mind, Archangel has multiple stages of power, and Red Star Rising is the most powerful, and it's saved for a situation like the one we're currently in, with the Ceph reawakening and whatnot. But I bet you're wondering how powerful this satellite really is. Well,
They're gonna obliterate New York. Total, orbital annihilation.
okay, so let me get this straight. In the original game, the government's plan was to just nuke the islands of Lingshan. In the second game, the government's plan was to just nuke New York City. And now in the third game, the New World Powers plan is to just space nuke all of New York City. I understand a game needs some stakes, but 3 nukes in a row is a bit egregious, no? Claire's trying to get her people to the perimeter of New York in an effort to save as many lives as she can. But Prophet points out that it won't matter, because if Archangel goes off and feeds its global energy store back into the Alpha Ceph, then it'll punch a massive hole in the earth, not just the city. So he proposes a solution. He's going to connect to a Ceph mind carrier, because if he can get in their heads, then maybe he can reverse the awakening. As you can probably guess, Claire doesn't like this plan, but I don't think anyone gives a fuck, honestly. So we cut down a few Ceph and get blasted by the mind carrier, which thrusts us into some visions and connects Prophet to the hive mind. And once we snap back to reality, you see your HUD going all freak mode. But more importantly,
they aren't attacking you. My god. They think you're Ceph.
No, not just Ceph. They think I'm the Alpha Ceph. I am the Alpha Ceph.
Prophet! Prophet! It's too dangerous! You're losing yourself to the Ceph! Prophet! Lawrence!
No, I'm okay. I'm alright. I feel the hive mind. It's so powerful. That's it. Their thoughts and the power, it's all the same thing. If I can only... Shit.
What's that?
The real Alpha Ceph.
Get out of there, Prophet!
oh baby, we're in supercharged territory now, motherfuckers.
My superpowers are training.
So if you can't tell, when you're in the supercharged mode, you're supercharged. This means infinite health, infinite energy, and I think increased damage. In short, it's awesome. Claire informs us that Archangel is already in transfer orbit and could be over New York within an hour. Not only that, but Cell have evacuated almost the entire city apart from one facility that's very close. Claire deduces that this must be a command point for the satellite. So she wants us to infiltrate it so she can patch in, and then we should be able to shut Archangel down. So let's do this shit. There's some crazy shit going down with Claire and her team, which seems to be putting their HP bar at risk. So Prophet jacks a car and starts speeding over. This section is actually pretty cool. For starters, you get to take a little break from the general FPS gameplay loop to do some high-speed driving. And the set piece is amazing, because you get to drive up and onto the Golden Gate Bridge. It doesn't last long enough though, and within about a minute you have to get back out and fight once again. After getting inside the Golden Gate Bridge, Prophet has another big vision. This time hearing Claire speak her last words. She says that she can't open a window wide enough to breach Ceph lines. And she tells him that he's wasting his time trying to save them. And all that matters now is stopping Archangel. She wishes him good luck, and she says that she wishes they got off to a better start. But honestly, I don't care. All this character has done in this game is be hostile towards Prophet, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I wish we had a better relationship, when she's the reason that they didn't. We bust down the door to the open world, where Psycho the Goat comes back, now flying a goddamn VTOL like the ultimate badass.
Michael! You came back!
Romeo Actual. This is Romeo 1. Please observe standard radio protocol on this channel. Over.
Whatever you say, Romeo 1. Over.
Yikes. That's cold, Psycho. I like it. This section is another one that I quite like because it feels very familiar to the original game. It's a big area that you can semi-explore, you have a vehicle, and multiple objectives plopped around the area with enemy groups placed around. Claire patches in to tell us that they found Rasch, but he's not making any sense. It sounds like he doesn't know where he is or who the resistance is. Fortunately though, he's not injured. Claire just assumes that he's shell-shocked. Apparently he was in the middle of a Ceph hot zone. Wabam! After shooting whatever that thing was, we have now disabled the aerial defences. Hell yeah, dude. After hacking an iPad, we gain access to the Archangel Command Center. Move your ass, man, we gotta shut this thing down. Oh, hey Claire. Right, don't stop to chat, keep moving.
Stop it.
All personnel commit to post-emergency roll call in T-minus 15 minutes.
It looks like Archangel only got off a partial charge. About 5%. Just under the threshold for a chain reaction with Ceph energy. We got lucky. Very lucky.
Is that all he's got?
Projecting stage 3 simulation.
Stage 3?
I needed you. I needed all of you to help me escape my cell prison. My children were mindless while I slept. Shutting down Archangel was the last thing I needed from you. And for that, I must thank you.
What? What are you talking about? Rasch.
Projecting stage 3 simulation.
The third and final stage.
The beam. It's powering. Oh my god. It's an Einstein-Rosen bridge. A goddamn wormhole to the M33 galaxy. And there's something big coming through.
Back in the safe house, when I couldn't get a read on you, you said it was because you were the suit's creator. But that's not it, is it? How long has it been going on? Extending your life with nanotech, with Ceph DNA. Do you have any idea what you've become? You were battling the Ceph hive mind, just like me. Except, you lost. They absorbed you. And now you're one of them.
You have something, Prophet. Something the Ceph will never have. Oh, understand. An house.
Get on the guns! Psycho! The Alpha Ceph is breaking from the tower! Gunships! 3 o'clock! Move! Come on! Come on! Get us out of here! This is gonna get a bit sticky!
Holy shit, dude, that was incredible! What a cutscene! I'm quite a big fan of that twist with Rasch. I knew there was something off about him. I figured he definitely had ulterior motives, but I thought it was just going to be something simple like he's working with Cell. I was not expecting him to be essentially a Ceph himself. The end of mission briefing consists of a Cell video file talking about what Stage 3 is. It's the final and most deadly element of the Ceph colonization strategy. But what does this stage consist of? Well, it means that the Ceph will open an Einstein-Rosen bridge directly to the heart of their galaxy. From here, the Ceph overhives will deploy their dedicated warriors to obliterate all obstructions. And this would lead to a mass extinction event on Earth. And whilst Claire is telling us that we have to shut it down, duh, she seemingly passes out from the blast that she took. Also, whilst I'm in explaining mode, you might be wondering what an Einstein-Rosen bridge is. It's just a wormhole. We continue from inside the VTOL, with Prophet manning the gun, and Psycho crashing out in our ear because Claire's gone unresponsive. Eventually though, his whining causes us to crash the VTOL, meaning we now have to get our feet back on the ground. Claire finally wakes up and tells Psycho not to be sorry for anything, and asks if he forgives her, which he does. And then she dies. Womp womp. Prophet has the right idea. He tells Psycho that we need to move and find another VTOL now. But this causes another argument between the two, in which Psycho tears away his call sign and he tells Prophet not to call him that anymore. And I'm such a big fan of this cutscene. It has so much emotion to it. It's just so great. I mean, Psycho has such a great arc in this game. He goes from someone who thought he was completely dependent on his nanosuit, but realizes all that matters is the man inside the suit, not the suit itself. He embodies pure human resilience, and contrasts Prophet's actual dependence on the suit. At this point in the story, after being skinned, after losing Claire, Psycho underscores his themes of loss, vulnerability, and human endurance, and he breaks his mental chains which made him believe that he was nothing without the suit. Our suit then intercepts an NAX broadcast, wherein the person over the radio says that their satellite systems have picked up Hawking radiation at a distance of 1.2 AU, and their telemetrics indicate white hole formation, which is very bad. AU, by the way, stands for astronomical unit, and 1 AU is the distance between the Sun and the Earth, which is about 93 million miles, meaning that the white hole is almost as close to Earth as the Sun is. Hawking radiation is the theorized radiation that a black hole would give off, which would be thermal radiation. And finally, a white hole is the opposite of a black hole. Where a black hole pulls everything in, a white hole expels matter and energy. White holes, by the way, are completely theoretical, and we've not actually seen any evidence for one as of yet. A rebel manages to get on the radio frequency of Prophet's suit and suggests that they can help each other out, and Prophet tells him that he's going to go take out the anti-air guns, and any help is welcome, but if not, stay out of his way. Psycho then also calls us to tell us he's secured another VTOL. He's just waiting for Prophet to give the word before he flies over. Prophet suggests that if he can hook into whatever is powering the artillery, then he can control it because it will be connected to the hive mind. And with that being said, we do exactly that. Prophet hooks up his balls to the Ceph artillery and manages to shut it off, which gives Psycho the exact breakthrough he needs to zoom in and shoot the shit out of the artillery cannon. So now we just have to do that 2 more times, because nothing in a video game can just come in a bag of 1. As you can imagine, you've got to fight a cruise ship load of Ceph in between getting these 3 objectives done. But by this point in the series, you'll be familiar with everything going on and it won't be too bad. Boom! Cannon 2 is down. And boom again, Cannon 3 is down. And now we just have to clear out the remaining Ceph in the area. There's a few nice lines in this section about Jester and Helena from the first game. Nothing major, but it's just nice to hear the characters reference them. We jump into the new VTOL with Psycho, and finally get to use a vehicle for offensive actions. This section is very fun. It's basically just like those old arcade on-rails first-person shooters. All you have to worry about is pointing your reticle at the enemies and pulling the trigger. Unfortunately for us, the engines catch fire, meaning we have to land, which we do, and then get put in a turret section where we have to defend the VTOL from a big wave of Ceph. Psycho eventually fixes the VTOL and we get back into the air, but as we leave, a new type of Ceph arrives for us to play with. It drags Prophet out of the VTOL and pulls him up close, but Psycho drills it with the VTOL's cannon to get it to chill out. But it seems like it has magneto powers, being able to manipulate Ceph technology, and it uses this power to shoot down Psycho once again. But now this means we get to fight it one-on-one. This fight is pretty good. Is it complex? No, but it's exactly what it needs to be. It's an enemy that you've never seen before, one that has a different moveset, a big health bar, and can fuck you up pretty quickly if you aren't locked in. After doing enough damage, the big Ceph will grab you and bring you in close. But after spamming space enough times, Prophet hits it with some Palpatine lightning and saves himself. There's a big cannon in one of the corners of the arena that you can grab. When you pick it up, you get overcharged, making it much easier to kill the big wave of minions the boss just called in. One more time the Ceph will grab you, and one more time you will zap it with Palpatine lightning. But this time, it'll actually keel over and die. I just want to say, as fun as that fight is, it goes on for way too long. Prophet goes out to look for Psycho, but instead of finding him, he comes face to face with the Ceph wormhole. Prophet regains consciousness and sees a dead cell soldier. Surrounded by rubble, he frees himself from the chunk of concrete he's trapped under. He picks up a sidearm from the ground, and we begin making our way through the debris. Prophet tries to reach Psycho, but is still unable to. So, he just tells him over the radio that if he can hear him, he's going towards the Alpha Ceph. Prophet then starts to hear the hive mind infiltrating his head. It starts showing him visions and forcing him to hear moments from his past, but Prophet's fighting back. However, the hive mind is getting stronger, and it's beginning to give him false memories. We then start to hear Claire's voice listing off all of the side effects of being under the influence of the hive mind, reminding us of these just as we begin to experience the first of the symptoms. Not only her, but the hive mind also brings up memories of Hargrave. Oh god, not him again. He never shut up when he was actually talking to us. If the hive mind knows anything, then it's gonna know that the most effective way to torture me is to just keep playing Hargrave audio. We approach the mind carrier and it begins to lift us up, as well as strengthening the hallucinations that Prophet is experiencing. The hive mind regurgitates the question that's been asked all throughout the game. What are you prepared to sacrifice? Prophet blurts out,
"What's it going to take? Do I have to become more Ceph than Ceph? What are you going to do then?"
And we get another energy burst in order to destroy the current wave of Ceph that just jumped us. We jump in another mind carrier, and there's nothing really of note here other than a very quick flash of Prophet and Raptor team before they got their nanosuits. Oh look, and we jump into a third mind carrier. Again, nothing really of note happens. We just get the point hammered into our heads that Prophet isn't human anymore. And finally, we arrive at the wormhole. Now, you might think we jump into it or something like that, but no. We finally get to see the Alpha Ceph as it emerges from the water. And it is fucking awesome. It does have a very common snake-like design, but the snake mold mixed with the Ceph tech is really cool. It's also massive, which is always a bonus when it comes to a final boss. And I like its little drill hands as well. The fight itself is alright, I suppose. It's not bad. The first section of it is probably my favourite because you just get to focus on the boss and just the boss. After doing enough damage, just like the previous boss, the Alpha Ceph will grab you and pull you in. And again, just like the previous fight, after you spam space enough times, you zap the Alpha with your Force Lightning. After this, you're allowed to make it to the next area in which you're allowed to fight the Alpha Ceph. And this time you get to use a tank to fight back. Hell yeah! But wouldn't you know, after dealing enough damage, the Alpha Ceph picks you up and pulls you close. You're getting sick of hearing me say that, right? Yeah, I'm getting kinda sick of having to experience it over and over and over again. The third bit of the fight is pretty damn cool though. You get a constant overcharge as well as a big Ceph weapon, which just makes you feel pretty cool. The mix of things going on just makes for good spectacle. This part also gives us something a little more when the Ceph sweeps its drill face across the ground. It's not hard to dodge, but at least it's something. Anyway, after finally shooting the Alpha Ceph enough times and zapping it again, this happens.
It's all yours, boss!
Michael! This one's for Raptor Team, you son of a bitch. Michael, get out of there!
I'm trapped. This fucking harness is stuck.
Michael! Hold on! I'll get you out!
There's no time. We're too late. They're through.
I'm gonna get you out of there!
Prophet! Marge! Hold on!
Michael! The suit! I can't!
Damn it, Marge! It was never just about the suit! Marge! Marge!
What are you prepared to sacrifice? When they came to me with the nanosuit, I sacrificed Lawrence Barnes, the man I was, to become Prophet. Maybe the greatest tactical combat machine the world has ever known.
Just following orders.
Is it even human?
You might as well be a fucking machine.
But when you've sacrificed everything you had to become a perfect, cold, hard, logical machine, and that machine fails, what happens then?
Marge! Hold on! Everybody has a choice.
When Prophet fails, what's left?
Lawrence.
You have something, Prophet.
Marge! Hold on!
Something the Ceph will never have or understand.
Lawrence.
It was never just about the suit! Marge! Hold on!
Lawrence.
No!
The nanites in your suit are free. They can transform into anything, any form imaginable. Archangel. Total orbital annihilation.
And with those wise words from Claire, Prophet springboards off the bus over to Archangel and climbs up. Once at the top, we hack into the control panel, which gives us access to the manual controls of the satellite. Using those controls, we use Archangel to unibeam the massive fucking Ceph ship, which then makes the ship explode. And it's kind of beautiful.
first week of boot camp. They taught us a lesson. A good soldier knows there's only one thing he can rely on when the chips are down. Not his cutting-edge intel, not his state-of-the-art equipment, not his top-of-the-line weapon, just himself. Took me a long time to remember that. For now, the war is over. I made mistakes along the way, but after all, I'm only human. My name is Lawrence Barnes. They called me Prophet. Remember me.
You know what? Fuck yeah, dude. Oh man, what are my thoughts on this game? In the most simplified way, CRYSIS 3's story is better than its gameplay. Is the gameplay good? Yes, absolutely it is. It is very fun, just as the previous games were, but after 3 games, it does get a little repetitive and boring. The story is what kept me going, because the story is actually really, really good. If you don't look too in depth and sort of play the game half paying attention, then you are still going to enjoy it. But once you lock in and pay attention, you're going to enjoy it so much more. It's a really good ending to a trilogy. It wraps up Prophet's story really well, and turns him into a nicely layered and in-depth character. Prophet's journey, from human leader to digital consciousness, captures a really beautiful narrative of identity, sacrifice and rebirth. His downward spiral over the course of the games, before fully merging with the nanosuit, raises essential questions like, what defines humanity, and how far can someone go to stand up against overwhelming odds? The third game ultimately underlines Prophet's legacy, not as a soldier defined by his body, but as an enduring human spirit reborn through technology. Not just him, but Psycho as well. His arc was also really nicely done, going from a man so angry to be without his technology, to a man that realises all that he needs to be a good soldier is himself. He starts the game thinking he's not capable anymore because he doesn't have his suit, but in the end, not having his suit is what saved the 2 men, and he comes around to accept that. Both of these characters symbolise the same point. It's not about the suit, it's about the men inside them. I also need to point out the voice acting in this game. Because of the new emotion brought to Prophet and Psycho's characters, the actors give them the power that they need. David Kennedy is the man that brought Psycho to life. He gives him a balanced amount of emotion, especially in his outbursts.
You hear that, you bastards? Yeah, I'll try you all on, yeah, come on! Let's have you!
Are you insane? Those guns will rip you apart.
Ah, so now you get the picture. They took my nanosuit, Prophet. I'm human.
All while having a naturally serious tone throughout the game.
Listen, while you were off hunting some super alien that didn't even exist, Cell were busy taking over the world. We need you back in the here and now, boss. We need you to help us stop Cell.
He also nails the tone of voice in moments like this.
You done yet?
Yeah, I was just keeping quiet about it, seeing as you were having such a good time. No, of course I haven't fixed it yet. Twat.
And the man behind Prophet himself, James Vincent Meredith, absolutely fucking nails it. I mean, of course he does, he's excellent. You may know him from Fargo, Chicago Med, Boss, or Widows. But to me, he's always going to be Prophet from the CRYSIS series. He delivers such an amazing performance as Prophet in this game. So much raw emotion, so much anger, but also delivers some softer moments really well, like the final cutscene for example. Anyway, I think that CRYSIS 3 is a solid entry for the series, and a well done send-off. Perhaps my slight gameplay boredom just came from the fact that I played all 3 of these games back to back, because one at a time, these games are really fun. But 3 in a row, for about 20 hours, is a bit rough. I mean, why do you think that these games individually aren't that long? Or why Call of Duty campaigns are usually about 8 hours? It's because after a while, it gets very repetitive. Now, I just want to spend a little time talking about the game's performance upon release. With a budget of around $66 million, CRYSIS 3 only sold 205,000 copies in its release month. I believe upon release, the game was about $60. So, this means that the game made about $12.3 million, which was a commercial failure for EA. Even though the game received fairly decent reviews, Crytek faced significant financial instability after the release of CRYSIS 3. The company had to make major cost-cutting measures, including layoffs, reducing studio size, and shifting focus away from larger single-player titles to games with lower production costs. For example, the company went from CRYSIS 3 to games like Warface and Hunt Showdown. While these games aren't bad, they're definitely not on the same level as CRYSIS. In conclusion, CRYSIS 3 had a fairly solid development cycle, but despite pushing technological boundaries, it didn't achieve the commercial success that Crytek needed to stabilize the company. While it made a moderate profit, it didn't reach the level needed to ensure Crytek's long-term financial health, leading to a shift away from single-player AAA titles towards online and free-to-play models. I'm going a bit off topic, so I'm going to bring it back around. CRYSIS 1 is definitely my favourite of the series. I prefer the scenery of the first game. The jungles on a remote island really add to the mysterious and creepy nature of the story. I said this in my CRYSIS 2 video, but I feel like the first game had much more natural physics elements to it, like the sheet metal shacks being able to be torn apart. In CRYSIS 2 and CRYSIS 3, it feels like all the physical mechanics went into the power kick, which I never used in combat, but maybe that's a skill issue, I don't know. With that being said, just because CRYSIS 1 is my favourite, that doesn't mean that there's not elements of the others that I prefer. From a gameplay standpoint, CRYSIS 2 is definitely the best. It refines the framework that CRYSIS 1 created, the gunplay is smoother, the visuals are better, and the enemy AI is also better. Again, like I said in that video, it does exactly what a sequel should do, and it improves on almost everything from the first one. However, from a story perspective, CRYSIS 3 is the best. It wraps up everything that the first and second game were working towards, and like I've just explained, the characters in this one are so much more in depth, and the story this time around is really quite sweet by the end. And it almost feels like a proper ending. There's bits that don't get explained, like Psycho for example. Did he die? Did he manage to get out of that really bad situation and go on living his life out from under the thumb of Cell? Maybe it's in a book somewhere, but the books aren't the games, and the games are what I want. But overall, the story is great. All three games have a great story, and none of them would work as well if they didn't have the others to reinforce it. So as far as trilogies go, this is a really well made trilogy. So I'm going to go ahead and say CRYSIS 1 is an 8 out of 10. It's an incredible shooter with a very interesting twist. CRYSIS 2 is probably a 9 out of 10 because it improves upon the first in almost every way. But CRYSIS 3 is probably more like a 7 out of 10. The story does heavily improve, but it's very short and it doesn't innovate on the previous title like the second game did. I forgot to mention as well, now that I've said it's really short, the game is only about 3 hours long, 3.5 hours long, so it's very short. As a whole, I would give the whole trilogy a 9 out of 10. Whilst repetitive at times, the story is rich, the gameplay is fun, and you won't want to put it down. I thought about not giving an outro to this video and just leaving it on the final words from my thoughts, but I figured I should say something now that I've played the whole trilogy. This was a great experience, it was fucking awesome, man, and I'm a little sad to say goodbye to the series. Through playing these 3 games, I have a newfound love for the series, and I'm so upset that CRYSIS 4 will never arrive. But if by some miracle it does, I'm going to be the first ones to buy it. But for now, this is going to be my last video on the CRYSIS series. I hope you all enjoyed the 3 videos I made on these games, because I really enjoyed making them. As for what's next, it's going to be Death Stranding, actually, because I've already written the script for it. It's going to be a bit of a different type of video, but you'll see what that means when the video's out. Right, well, I've said all I wanted to say, so I will see you all in the next video. You better be there.